humans of Earth have been stuck here because they keep getting put in a perpetual loop of reincarnation that was designed to keep us trapped here. So it's been eons of us just continuing to come back and replay the same lessons over and over.
We are slaves, in a sense.
Yes, we were slaves.
Boom. Blow your fucking mind.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Paranoid. Tell me, boy. I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. Bitch, I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. I'm paranoid. Bitch, I'm paranoid.
Testicles, 1, 2, testicles.
Yes, sir. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. What to do, boo?
Big Tank, can you do something for me?
Hey.
What's up, everybody?
What's your problem?
The problem is, look, the reason I'm mad at you, dude. I'm mad at you. I'm still mad at you from last week, all right?
Look, I don't give a fuck. Hey, fool, like you told me, you need to let that old shit go, fool. Stop bringing up old shit, plunge your ass, nigga.
Look, dog, look. I want first. Everybody, welcome back to the fucking show. Thank you so much for joining us again. This is Paranoid Radio Podcast. I am your humble host, Trebles Garcia. And joining me in the 1 to 2 is the best co-host in the motherfucking planet. Yeah. Big Tank, salute.
Salute. What's good, fam?
What's up, dog? How you doing, bro? You doing all right?
Sipping on my coffee.
Ooh, I thought you were sipping on that cock. All right, guys. All right. Settle down, people. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining us, Big Tank. As always, we're here today to give you guys a lot of information. This is probably going to be the longest episode thus far, giving you some fan service. We're putting out a lot of content. We're making these episodes an hour long now. Not necessarily between Big Tank and I, but we're bringing new segments. Guys, I have a series of announcements to make. First of all, guys, we're dropping our first video content on Rumble this fucking week. Can you believe that, Big Tank? We're finally moving up the scale. We're finally doing the right things in podcasting, dog. How do you feel about this video content drive, dog? How do you feel?
Ooh, yeah.
That was fucked up.
I don't give a fuck what people think, fool. Look. Personally, it's all a voice of opinion, big dog. Let's get down with straight, fool. You can say it's the right move. I can really care less. I mean, I'm here for fun. I'm here for shits and giggles. So let's get it done.
All right. You're here for a fun time, not a long time. I get it, dog. All right, guys. Another thing that I need you guys to let you guys know is that you're going to be able to find us only on Rumble. So if you're going to watch the video unedited, unfiltered, uncensored, whatever you want to fucking call it, it's going to be raw content with the interviews or Big Tank and I going head to head, talking shit, bringing you the fucking historical value events with all our fucking comedic relief. It's going to be on Rumble. I'm Paranoid at Paranoid Radio Podcast on Rumble by Friday morning. So guys, stay tuned to that, and you can find the links on our link tree on Paranoid Radio Podcast, on paranoidradio.com, or on Instagram. That is right. Now, Big Tank, connect the randomizing machine and give me the preview review.
Random machine, do your thing.
Paranoid Radio.
All right, this is the preview review, ladies and gentlemen, where I give you a review from Apple Podcasts. Now, we have one that came in a couple months ago, and I'm choosing these randomly, guys. Amazing Energy, Good Consistency by Javi 6.0. Really,
I honestly, my mind wandered way off. Good energy, good cock. And I'm like, what?
Dude, what the fuck is going on? Dog, your mind is, I don't know, dog. All right, well, let me finish this up. It's really, really entertaining show at any time of the day. Tank and Trebles get down. Thanks, my guys. Javi Pack Line. Javi Pack Line or Javi 6.0, thank you so much for showing us love, dropping this 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and that is a 5-star review review. Now, big time, I'm bring you a new segment from a deep state correspondent. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to please stay tuned because he is bringing election frauds, FTX, cryptocurrency, abortion fear-mongering, and Arizona's PAC attack on America's first supporters. Guys, stay tuned.
Yeah, this is Flash from Flashy News 1 on Instagram, bringing you a deep state correspondent and a quick update of what's really going on. You can find me on Instagram at flashy_news1. Well, it's been almost 2 weeks now since the midterm elections, and for people that were supporting America First candidates, maybe felt that there was a letdown. Well, I'm here to give you a dose of reality and tell you what the media is not going to tell you. Like the fact that 24 states in our union now have a supermajority of a Republican House and Senate. That is a red wave. About how school boards from coast to coast have flipped from Democrat to Republican because moms and dads are fed up with what their kids are being spoon-fed in schools. Now the media wants us to believe that this is somehow Trump's fault, that we were supposed to gain 60 seats in the House and all these seats in the Senate. But was that really reality? If you look at the polls, it was pretty clear that it was always going to be close. And when it's close, that's when the Democrat machine can steal elections. Now let's talk about why it was close. Propaganda and lies kept these races closed. And how did they do that? Well, they targeted the younger 18 to 30-year-olds with the great lie that Joe Biden was somehow going to cancel student loan debt with a stroke of a pen. Come to find out the day after the election, it was ruled unconstitutional. Something that we all have been screaming from the top of our lungs, that he could not do this without Congress. But he made the promise that he could. That was to lie to you to get him to vote for you, to get you to vote for him. Now the second lie, that Republicans were going to somehow cut Social Security and Medicaid. That's how he got the older people to vote for him, or to vote for the Democrat Party in the midterms. Now that was never going to happen. There has not been one serious statement made about cutting Social Security, and it would never happen because Joe Biden is the president. He would never sign that law. Fear-mongering, propaganda. Now we have the younger people and the older people. How do we get the people in the middle? Oh, well, let's lie to them about abortion. Let's tell them that if the Republicans gain the majority in the Senate and the House, they're going to ban abortion, which would never happen because there's not even that many Republicans elected into office that believe that we should ban abortion nationwide. And even if there was, Joe Biden is still the president, and he would never actually sign that law, or he would never sign that bill into law. So really, what was he talking about? It was all fear, and it was all lies. And they did that to keep the races close, because they knew in states like Arizona, where the Secretary of State was actually the one running against the Republican for the governorship, the person that was running against Kari Lake was in charge of the elections. And well, you may say that's not a big deal. She wasn't counting the votes. Well, okay, let's talk about the person that was counting the votes. The man named is Bill Gates, not that Bill Gates, a different Bill Gates, and the man named Richter. Now, you can look these gentlemen up. They're supposedly Republicans, but they started a PAC, a political action committee, back in 2021 to stop MAGA candidates from being elected in 2022. These are the people running the elections in Arizona, and we're supposed to believe that they are free from bias, that these elections were free and fair, when it took them 7 days to count 600,000 votes, and it took Florida 5 hours to count 7.5 million. See, what's interesting is that any state that had common sense voting laws and that counted their votes in the same day, there was a red wave. Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, common sense voting laws. Okay, they don't allow mail-in ballots to come in for weeks and weeks and weeks because they know it's fraud. It is fraught with fraud. Now, how is the Democrat Party, this machine, raising so much money? Because they outspent Republicans 5-1, hundreds and hundreds of $1 million more than the Republican Party. How? Oh, well, come to find out, the FTX cryptocurrency exchange company was money laundering for the Democrat Party through Ukraine. So what was happening is that we were sending our hard-earned money to Ukraine. Then Ukraine was investing in FTX, cryptocurrency company, and then FTX was donating to the Democrat Party to the tune of $100 million just for the midterms. Come to find out, that was a huge Ponzi scheme. Okay? $1 billion gone. Money was stolen from people to invest into stealing these midterms. But tell me again how MAGA Republicans are the problem. Now the media wants us to get rid of Trump, and they're using DeSantis to do it. Okay, because they're saying that DeSantis had a huge win in Florida, and it was Trump's fault we didn't have a red wave. Oh, well, what they're not going to tell you is that every single person that won in Florida were MAGA Republicans. Ron DeSantis is a MAGA Republican. Trump held a big rally in Miami 2 days before the election, and Miami went red for the first time ever. So if we're to blame Trump for his failures, aren't we supposed to praise him for when he wins? But that's not how it works. Because Trump is a threat to both political parties, because he has no allegiance to either political party. His allegiance is with one, us, the American people that voted for him, and even the ones that didn't. Okay, Trump is a necessary tool in the war against the deep state. And I would support another person if they were willing to do what he's willing to do, but they're not. And I haven't seen one. The red wave happened. Don't be fooled.
Yo, that is right. Flashy_news1. Thank you so much for that mid-month report. Now, Big Tank, it's a bird, it's a plane. Nope, it's Paranoid Radio. Big Tank, what is happening?
What is happening, my people? What the fuck is going on in the world today? I'm gonna give you guys one story, and I'm gonna collect your 1 cent, and I'm gonna deposit your cent plus my cent, because we're depositing that bitch into the bank of knowledge. My people, what the fuck is going on? Hey,
that's
and today's not even the bank of knowledge. Today's the mayhem of destruction. Are we in the midst of WW3? Are we in WW3? What the fuck is going on, big dog? So if you guys haven't seen, Poland has officially been hit, whether it was on purpose, not purpose, accident. Russia's denying all accountability. They're saying it was actually diverted because one of the Ukraine diverted it, whatever the fuck it is. We did lose a total of 2 lives during this. It hit the very corner border of Poland, but it still landed in Poland territory. Is Article 5 of NATO going into full effect? Is Russia gonna turn glass? What the fuck is going on, big dog?
Damn, there's a lot to unpack here and a lot to also absorb, because this could very well be the beginning of World War III. If you don't understand what's happening, I'm gonna make this real short. I honestly think that the reports came out already that Ukraine those were Ukraine missiles that hit in Poland. So there's lies somewhere coming out of Ukraine trying to provoke the battle between NATO and Russia. All right. But if by any means it was Russia or it was NATO, I can honestly see it as a conspiracy. And this is why. Casus belli. A lot of countries, in order to go to war and not get hit by warmongering penalties, they try to catch a casus belli. Casus belli means you have now a probable cause and a justifiable cause in the world community to go to war for retaliation, for territory expansion, etc., etc. If NATO country and if an inch of NATO territory was attacked directly by Russia, then NATO has casus belli enough to have 0 warmongering penalties around the globe and go to war directly with Russia. Which I don't know if that benefits Russia in any fucking way, but for sure it'll benefit their cause to bring down the United States of America and the Western allies. It's just, it's a deep talk.
Okay. So, in all honesty, Article 4 is in effect. You get me? Everybody has every set.
Emergency meetings and everything, yeah.
Yeah, all of that's going down. This is the problem with everything, is that if it was deflected, or let's just say it is how it said they first came out, that it was a Russian missile that got deflected by Ukraine that pushed it away. can you really hold Russia accountable for that?
No, you can't. And that's the thing. There's accidents that happen. Big Tank, you and I were talking last night about the situation. Remember I mentioned that in 1999, we were bombing Serbia. And in the same time that we were bombing Serbia, by accident, we bombed a Chinese embassy. The Chinese government didn't retaliate. It was a complete accident. And the United States of America paid millions of dollars to the families of the people that were in the embassy directly to the Chinese government. So the Chinese government let it go as an accident and not a probable cause for war. So there might be a small little chance that this was an accident. But then again, who's pushing for this World War III type of thing?
Well, Ukraine wants it all back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ukraine wants us to go to war with them. From the beginning, they were crying about it. They even signed the fast track to fucking NATO submission thing, the fucking contracts. So it's
but let's be honest about it. The whole fast tracking for NATO thing, we know it's not gonna happen just because there's so much heated roots. It's like the whole Hong Kong and China thing. China was technically independent from Hong Kong. It got taken.
You mean Hong Kong? You mean Hong Kong was independent from China?
Yeah, there we go. Hong Kong was independent from China, and now it took over. There's no way we were gonna actually do anything about it because it's technically their property.
Obviously,
at the end. Yeah. I mean, it's
that was like a treaty, a long time ago, treaty with England.
Exactly. It's like saying Florida independence itself, and it's like, all right, cool. The 10 days is over. Come back now. Y'all ain't gonna do shit.
It's not like the Taiwan problem. Like the Taiwan is a little bit more complicated because they are a sovereign nation. They've been sovereign for a while.
Exactly. So I mean, it's really hard to say where this is gonna go. I have been talking to a couple of my buddies. One of the buddies that was actually in the military has a little bit more experience and knows how chain of command goes. He's actually saying that, I mean, he thinks diplomacy is gonna roll over right now because everything does seem to point to it being an accident. Agreed, understandable. Accidents do happen.
Same here.
Yeah. Are we gonna go to war? Possibly. Is it gonna happen? Who knows? Is a draft? I know a lot of people are freaking out about the draft, especially 18, 19-year-olds. I mean, at this point, we have a strong military as it is.
Technologically, we're superior, but I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've heard this in a couple of other podcasts, and I did the research just last night to see how strong we were militarily wise. I mean, boots on the ground. Guys, we're at a lowest point of military soldiers and reserves in history. The United States of America, not because of this, because of the trans, the problems with the fucking transsexuals being and gays being on the military, and then a lot of people not trying to fucking volunteer, because you have to understand that we volunteer to go to wars and to be drafted, right? So we're at our lowest points of reserves now. So what they will do is.
But we have an active military as opposed to other times. That's the big difference. I mean, we do have an active military, so it's not like there's nobody there. We have an active military all the time. Yes, reserves might be not all low, but I mean, it's like the what's it called? The Army Reserves, the Marines Reserves, whatever it might be, whatever they call themselves. We do have an active military. It's just the reserves that ain't that low. I mean, the reserves are low.
I have to completely and utterly agree with you 100%. And but you and I both know, Big Tank, that the United States of America, the best business it does is military power, military might, and go to war. War is the fucking economy machine that produces money or any type of fucking goods for this country. That's the only thing that we are top dog at. So, dude, that we definitely World War III around the fucking corner, dog. We gotta stay on this fucking on this story.
That is right, Big Tank. Thank you for those two amazing stories. That's always setting the mood and shaking the cages and that ass and all that good shit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have an amazing episode for all of you guys, so stay tuned. Check this out. Today, we're bringing you a topic filled with cosmic experiences, light codes, data downloads, spiritual ascending transformations, and direct contact from multidimensional galactical civilizations. Yeah. And to do so, I would like to welcome back Paranormal Radio podcast Monarch. This man didn't only help shape the structure of this show, but also slingshotted us into the truth community with unrivaled promotion and guidance. He's a host of his own podcast show called the Fail Academy Podcast and manages a professional multimedia company called Rogue One Media. He's been here before in our legendary crossovers with Breaking the Matrix podcast. Please give a warm welcome to JB from the Fail Academy Podcast.
Sheesh, salute, brother. How you been?
Is that when you guys you press the applause effect on the sound card?
Most definitely, most definitely, brother. Royalty in the house.
Yeah.
Trebles always has like the master intros. Everybody that comes on the show, and obviously I'm a very big fan. I watch the show, I listen to the show every week, and I will be watching it now that you're on video. Always the bomb intros, and everybody's always like, wow, what an intro. And it's true. Like you are the top dog. So I'm like, damn,
thank you, man. Thank you.
He really
I try hard.
It. Monarch.
Not only
like,
that,
how does he
right
bring
now that
Monarch?
he was saying it,
let me tell you how.
He was like spinning bars, and I'm like, oh
Reading
shit, I'm feeling
dictionaries.
it.
Let me tell you how though. People know you from when you were on our show 2 times before with the crossovers with Breaking the Matrix, Morpheus, what was it did with Kim Reiki, and you jumped on. We spoke about MK Ultra. We were on your show a couple of times as well. So those crossovers, believe it or not, gave us our first 200 followers on Instagram, and then they're about what, like 250, almost 300. So you slingshot us into the community, and believe it or not, now we're talking about hundreds. Sooner or later, we're gonna be talking about thousands of followers, and I know it. I feel it in my heart. But you gave us the base. You gave us that slingshot to get us to the community.
He gave us a strong foundation to move forward. Definitely.
More than happy and honored to do it. We obviously, Morpheus and myself saw the potential in you guys. Listen to your early episodes. I was like, these guys, they have the it factor. They are going to be somewhere, and we'll be a part of them. And we don't care if they're at 0 right now. We see the talent, we see the energy, and we're going to support them in any way, shape, or form we can. And then we just formed a bond, and there it is. I mean, that first episode was a bomb episode. We were going battling on the politics.
Dude, can I tell you something?
You were anti-Trumper back then.
I was an anti-Trumper, and I was hammered on that episode. It was so disrespectful of me. I was hammered on that episode, which is now I'm like, you guys are totally still around after I fucked up.
Yeah, totally different personality after that. Like, I mean, Big Tank's like, Trebles, you might want to take it down a notch. Like, we're on
I had to stop him like 2 or 3 times. Like, hey, big dog, this is their show. Believe it or not, I know we're on the same one, but it's their show.
I was like, whoa, we got ourselves a hot one here. And here we are, man. We're tight. We're tight like brothers, man. So pleasure to be here. So let's get it. Let's get after it.
Thank you, dude. For the people that do not know you, please allow yourself and give us a little bit about who you are, what the Fell Academy is, and what are you here to talk about today?
Real quick, me, I'm truther. Came into the truth community right before the pandemic. And once the pandemic hit, and like a lot of people's stories, it just became apparent that the Fail Academy original premise was to talk about and teach people how to embrace failure and learn from it, and learn that success is built on the foundations of failure. So that was the whole premise. But once the pandemic hit and everything was happening, it was obvious that we had to get the truth out. So I just went full blown into truth community and just launched and took off. People were just craving more information as far as what's out there, what's going on, because they had questions, and blew up. And then just had a very big community. And then obviously the censorship took place. We got stripped down, started back up, got stripped down. And it was like over and over and over. They just kept knocking us down. People like me, Breaking the Matrix, and a lot of other big influences that they just silenced. So that's what I've been dealing with the last year or so, 2 years actually. And now I'm just back with the cosmic reports and the cosmic disclosure, and just keeping it out of the politics and keeping it more spiritual, which is in line with where I'm at anyway in my personal life. And that, we're going to talk about that. So it just goes hand in hand. And so I'm happy to be where I'm at now, talking about like spiritual 5D ascension stuff.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Check this out, dude. So you gave me a list of stuff that we wanted to go over, and I'm ignorant to all of this. And I've heard your episodes. I'm a big fan. I love, as you can see, I'm a Star Wars fan. I got my Darth Vader in the back looking behind me. So I my head is in the stars half of the time. Sometimes Tank has to bring me back to earth just because I'm always daydreaming. And but you mentioned something about a cosmic event that happened in March 2022. Give me a brief view on that.
So I'm just be full disclosure and transparency. This is the first time I'm actually talking about it live with anybody. I've posted stuff about it on the social media, but never had a conversation with anybody, never like actually talked about it, this event that happened to me. So this is the first time for that. I am by no means trying to convince anybody of anything. You form your own opinions. This is just what happened to me. There's speculation, there's anything that could be said about it, but this is my experience. So, and I'm not making anything up. It's exactly how it happened to me, and I'm not trying to get anybody to believe it. It's just it is what it is. It's actually hard to even discuss. So, but I know I have to, and I know I will. So it's part of the journey, talking about these kinds of things, because it was pretty epic. So we'll get into that. Go ahead.
It's pretty awesome to share your first moment speaking with us about this experience, and us experiencing this first video podcast recording with you right now in this moment. Yeah,
very good.
Well, could we say it's a breaking exclusive?
It is exclusive on an exclusive. It's
a world premiere. It's a world
real shit.
So
I just hope. Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead. So check it out. So this thing that happened, I'm at my house. It's March. I'm about sitting in my desk, and I'm on scrolling through YouTube, and I come across this video recording, which apparently is a famous recording that I wasn't aware of, but it was in 1990. This recording, and it was channeled from this woman who had direct contact with Palladians. She was like the one of the only ones that could like verbatim transfer their channeled messages to the public. So she's written books, and she's got a big following. Her name is Barbara Marciniak. Barbara Marciniak. 1990. So I had no idea what this was, and I didn't even know it was from the 1990s. I just saw Palladian message or something like, Palladian something. And I was like, I'm doing my cosmic disclosure. So I figured, and I see it's 3 hours long. And I'm like, all right, I'll probably give it like 10 minutes and then bounce and just
on double speed.
Yeah. I mean, 3 hours is a long time to sit through a channeling. I've never done it. So, well, actually I did do it, but I did it that night. So, and I've done it after that, but I'll tell you about it. So I press play. That's what I did. I just press play, and I'm sitting in my chair, and within like a minute of listening to this thing, I was in a trance. I was like out, like I was in a hypnotic state where I was just, my eyes are closed. I'm sitting straight up, and it was like I was under hypnosis as this thing was playing. And I was aware of my surroundings. It wasn't like I was out of the body or anything. I was just like, I was in this like paralyzed kind of like state where I just was, I mean, it wasn't like I couldn't move or anything, but this is where I was at. I was like in another thing that just, it sent me there within like a minute. I just like snap of a finger. I was like, like it's sitting there, like under hypnosis. And then as this message is playing, I can hear it clearly. My room starts lighting up like tremendous amount of light. It was like electricity. It was like you could feel the electricity from the light. And then these light beings appear in my room, and they're like behind me, and there's 7 of them. There's 2 on the right, 3 on the left, and then 1 directly behind me, and then like 1 behind that one. And they were like, wasn't scared or anything. They were there to like just contact me and reveal to me what it was, who I was, where I come from, my origins, and the historic, why I'm here, all this stuff. And I'm just basically going through this like dimensional thing where they're taking me on this journey, but I can hear the message being played, and it's coinciding with where like, because there wasn't no speaking. It was just telepathically. It was like telepathy, but it was more like images and pictures and that were coming into my head. And this like light beam was like, transferring into my crown. And with that, this data, it was like a data download where like the entire universe was like just pumping, like downloading into my brain and body at like quantum speeds. But yet I can understand it. It was like the message is going, this information is downloading into me and these images, but yet it was like slow enough for me. I could actually understand everything clearly. It was like I was able to do it. I was able to like understand as it was like passing me by all this data. You know, like it's a known thing, like these light codes that are downloaded.
The way I visualize
level.
this, I'm sorry to interrupt. The way I visualize this is when Neo gets connected the first time, and then they upload the kung fu on him in the Matrix. He's like, you get me? And then
that's a good one. I didn't even think of that.
And then his brain is like, he's a machine, like quantum speeds.
Yes.
Wow.
In that state. Afterwards, like the next day, it was all fragmented. I was like trying to recall everything, but I could no longer just like understand or process it. It was like I was out of that state of mind.
In the process of downloading this data, did they expose anything about you, the origins of JB?
Yeah, it was 3 hours long of just telling me everything about like history, the earth, the dark war that took place, basically like my soul is ancient, like, you know, like it was here for the creation of the earth. Like I apparently, like I belong to a group called the Family of Light. They're the Family of Light. I'm a light being incarnated millions of times on this earth. You know, like basically I'm here for this specific reason. We all are. There's, you know, like, believe it or not, you guys are too, because if you're in this community and you're actually seeking answers, you are one. That's just how it goes. Like if you're not, if you're someone who's not seeking knowledge, then you're asleep and you're just you're not that. There's nothing that's any different about me and you guys. Anybody, we're all connected. We're all the same. We all have the same capabilities. We all are from the creator. That's the message that was, given to me. Like, yes, you're ancient and you're here and you're going to lead. Basically, they're saying you're going to lead humanity into the fifth and you're going to be an example. So you're required to complete this mission that you accepted before you incarnated. And they told me that there was going to be checkpoints throughout my life that they would interfere. And I gave them permission beforehand to interfere, to keep me on track. And then everything just made sense with all stuff that took place in my life leading. I was like, whoa, that's why this makes sense. And so this was like an activation. It was exactly what it was. It was an activation where the light beings that listened to this message, they were going to activate. Like I'm sure other people, and I haven't found them yet. I'm sure something like this happened to them because it can't just be me. And I know there's other people that are, because I've seen these groups called, Family of Light and all that stuff. I haven't joined them. I'm kind of looking from an outside perspective because I'm just like I don't want to join like a cult or a group or anything. Not that I'm doubting it. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to be one of those people where it's like, hey, I'm one too. I'm just looking from afar, but I'd love to speak to somebody who actually could say they had the same experience, because it's kind of like, what happened, but I do feel, it all makes sense, and I'm able to accept it, embrace it. And since then, I've just been like really pouring myself into this whole spiritual mastering and learning the ancient secrets, and just becoming the master that I'm supposed to be at some point in this life. And I take it very seriously. So otherwise, for the 3 hours, they would tell me about the history and the earth and the Palladians and the reptilians and the wars that took place. And we've been under a dark rule for 300,000 years. And this is the end of that dark rule. And we're now humanity, like you're all going, like it's going to happen to you. Like if it hasn't happened already, like whatever's happening, you're going to experience it too. Like there's no getting around it. Like you're going to have these cosmic events happen to you too. And it's part of the process. It's part of the evolution and the ascension, and that's what's happening right now. The Earth is ascending, and when you want to know what ascension means, it's not like it's going to another place. It's an expansion of your consciousness, so where you'll be able to access like your true potential, and that'll include telepathy and manifestation, where you could just manifest things instantly. And it's like there's no like lying, like you heard some of this stuff I've read. So it made sense with all the stuff that I was researching and all the stuff that I was reporting on. It coincided with that. So it actually connected with all those things. but it also could say, like, what did I imagine it? And is this a hoax? Is it like an AI that was designed to turn viewers into you could say all those things because it's possible. But my gut and my heart says no.
I think you aligned those people, because I was listening to your show, and it went from you doing the whole research and everything by yourself. You were putting out all the information by yourself, recording and doing everything. And then I don't know what you got hit. You aligned these two authors that came onto your show and spoke about the power, the healing powers of the crystals, how powerful your mind really is, how your spirit, how you jump from 3D to 5D, how the earth is not only moving at 3D, right? A lot of people stay behind, but the people that are awake and have this potential to move forward will slowly, some faster than others. Some are generals, some are soldiers, but we're all still in the same light click.
You got it,
right?
bro. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then you also mentioned that there's 3% of humans that are only only 3% of people incarnate.
3% of the population is of this lineage or this group of light workers, these light beings. 3%, that's 200 million people, dude. It's not a small number, but it is a small number compared to the rest of the population, but it's still 200 million people. So it's like there's enough, and that 3% is tasked with the mission of actually overshadowing the darkness and raising the consciousness of humanity and helping the earth raise into the fifth. So it's like there's a big burden to bear on that 3%, but they know that it's all it takes is that 3% to overpower the darkness, and in fact basically influence the rest of humanity to raise their consciousness too by spreading light.
Is every other person that reincarnated, because I know energy can't be destroyed, it can only transfer, it can only be transformed, right? Is every person on earth, spiritually speaking, energetically speaking, a descendant from another type of race of these people in the angelic realm?
Oh, absolutely. Galactic? Absolutely. I mean, however, we all come from the creator, the source, God. We are all just like fragmented particles of the creator, God, however you want to name it. That's what we are. So that's what makes us all equal. In other words, that's why we should be connected and in love in each other, because we're not different, no matter what our color of skin is, who we are, where we are, even how bad we are. At the end of the day, your soul comes from that place. We all do. So yes, we come from other planets and other universe and other races, and we experience all these things. We're eternal. Our souls are eternal, and we're going to just experience lives and lessons and just karma, and we create karma. But Earth has been a prison planet, so the humans of Earth have been stuck here because they keep getting put in a perpetual loop of reincarnation that was designed to keep us trapped here. So it's been eons of us just continuing to come back and replay the same lessons over and over.
We are slaves, in a sense.
Yes, we're slaves, because when you create karma, you have to balance that karma, and also because they have us set up, and they had us set up in it because it's been broken in this reincarnation trap. We have just been kept looping into it and in prison. And because free will and everything else, these dark forces, they had every right to exercise their wants and desires,
dominion over us.
Yeah, that was their choice, and they have a right to do that. It's our job to break out of it. So we've been stuck in it, and so now the angelics and the galactic higher realms, they need to help us. They need to get us out of this mess, and it's taken thousands and thousands of years of just planning and reincarnating, sending light beings to become humans and influence the rest of the people that they come in contact with. And then a lot of these light beings, because when that veil comes and you forget everything. And there's plenty of light beings that just fall off the wayside. They become suicidal, drug addicts. They can't handle it because it's such a dense, dark, heavy realm, dimension to be in. It's not an easy place. So it's very difficult. And so it's taken a long time, but now we have arrived where the collective consciousness has been influenced enough to where everybody's feeling a difference. Everybody's starting to open up and question and actually wake up. And that's what the Great Awakening is. And once there's a certain number or a certain amount of humans that collectively raise their vibration frequency and wake up and go within and you know, like really ask from within instead of from without, then that's when the ascension is full blown complete, and we all go together. And then those who don't go because they're still struggling, we'll help bring them along eventually. And that's how the whole thing's going to happen. It's happening.
You didn't send me these notes. I had to pull these notes from your last 2 episodes on the Thought Academy podcast. And I love doing this stuff because it throws a curveball in here. And there was a mention about different alien races fighting for dominion, and they cannot directly get into the battle between us and the reptilians and so forth, and draconians and everything. But there's insectoids, there's basically people like the tiger people. There's a bunch of different other alien species that we could get into. Okay, so they can't directly defend us. We have to fend for ourselves, and we're also, correct me if I'm wrong here, we're also mixed. We're like mutts, but we're also divine because we're also we're a mixture of bloods, but also a mixture of the best assets.
Bloods and the Crips.
I thought Big Tank was gonna come out with that one.
I looked right at Big Tank waiting for him to say something.
I see him swaying he's about to go in.
Yeah, I mean, we can have 10 episodes on this stuff that you're bringing right now. This is fascinating stuff that we could talk about. The you know, the races and the wars that took place, and basically what it comes down to is that these dark forces, they won the war over the possession of planet Earth hundreds of thousands of years ago. Wow. But now at the same time, they've altered our DNA. We used to have a 12-strand DNA, which made us the prime species. Like, we were created to be the top species of the universe. Like the experiment we are was the highest of evolved species, creating this DNA form of race that was going to be the supreme race, where like we could do anything. We could teleport, like we could become a portal, we could do, there's nothing we can't do. But what the way they've created it with the 12-strand DNA, our DNA.
How many strands do we have now?
2. Like, they reduced us to 2. Yeah, with a double helix. You know, like if you go to science books, it's a double helix DNA. They reduced us to 2, which is just survival. It's just primordial survival, you know, greed, all that stuff. That's what they reduced us down to. However, that 12-strand DNA still exists within us. It's just not activated. It's dormant. They disconnected it.
There's
a point we are reconnecting. What's that?
There's the saying is, right? The saying, and I'm going like this. It's not that we use 10% of our brain. It's just that we have only found out how 10% of the brain works, if that makes sense. It's not that we're only using 10% of the brain. That's not how it works. We're using our capacity. We're using our brain. We just we don't understand the brain. The moment we start understanding the brain, hopefully what I'm trying to, like, my theory would be that we would ascend. We'll have a connection. There's a reason why I'm 100% sure about this, that there's a lot of different colors that our eyes cannot catch. This is why the heat temperature, all these like night visions in green. I guess I mentioned that before on the show, where like dogs see in different colors. They can see things into different realms. The veil is a lot thinner in their eyesight, where they could catch a spirit moving, for example, or see an angel, or see a demon, or see any type of other entity energetically wise. Well, we can't catch it with our eye. This is why they run away from corners while we're walking into it, and they're barking at that corner for a specific reason. The reason I'm saying is because maybe once we can activate that portion of the brain, then we can understand, fathom, see, speak different languages, or telepathically communicate with these entities, and then reach our higher self, reach our calling, right?
Think about it. We're going from a 2-strand DNA to a 12. We're going to activate our 12 chakras. Like, all that is connected. So when you talk about the brain, when science, and that's what's happening, like science and the cosmos and the spirit are going to become blending together. So where it's like scientific data and then spiritual data that creates the truth, that says like what we are, because science doesn't But science is now actually adopting a very high amount of spiritual essence. Science totally has proven
can't live
that
without the other.
you can manifest, you could tell telepathy, like that's all proven. And so scientifically, like we can manifest, we visualize anything into existence. That's how we create our reality. We are the creators. We're the masters. We are like gods.
If you had to call us an alien race, what alien race would Tank be?
I would call Tank the Oomba Oombas.
Hey, I've heard big things about the Oomba Oombas. They won a couple wars in their own planet.
They're
gangster.
Very prideful. They're gangster, but they're soft and friendly. But they'll definitely get gangster on you.
All right.
Goofy.
Tank, you lost your SCD, dog. Your shit talking degree went out the window on this one, bro.
He's fascinated, and plus, Tank's very skeptical, which we all know. He has, has his hard radical left theories and belief systems, and so like it's always good to have that opposing viewpoint where somebody is just totally skeptical. But like I said, not even trying to convince. Form your own opinion. But now, just to wrap this up, because I know we went on a tangent, right? We went on a tangent. So now what I've done is since that time, I've gone into the whole studies, but I'm doing an experiment on myself because I decided that from MK Ultra, how MK Ultra is, and just people who are aware of it, how they program people's minds, become assassins, become this, and they don't even realize it. All through programming. I'm treating myself like a lab rat, and I'm reverse MK Ultraing myself by programming at every night. I put headphones on and I have recordings that play into my brain and program my subconscious into empowering beliefs and manifestation and genius, accessing my genius, clearing out like the garden of my subconscious. So I'm literally pumping like hours and hours every single night while I'm sleeping in that theta state. Because when you're in that sleep state, that's when you can absorb it the most, like a child. They say when you're in theta, that's how children absorb so easily, because they're in that theta state. That's the best way to be. So I do it at night. I fall asleep. I wake up in the morning, and it's like hours. I checked the entire playlist, went down the line for hours, and then I just do it again. And then I'll listen to stuff in the car. But
it won't happen overnight. You have to do it night after night after night.
Yeah, I'm on like month one. I'm on the first month, and I'm excited to see what 6 months is going to be like, and a year. Like that's going to be I feel like I'm going to be like a super genius. Like I feel like I'm going, because I can already feel and see things changing already, where how I think, because we don't realize how we think, and we're always doubting, and we're always coming from you might say, hey, I'm going to make it. But in your thing, you're like, how am I really going to make, like there's how you feel and how you think is the combination of what creates your reality. So you could think something that's important, but you got to have the feeling to go with it. So that really bonds it together. And so if you feel good and feel like, because you're going to be a success, it deep down, there's nothing that anybody can tell you that's going to change it. So that's what creating and manifesting is, because you know it, you believe it, and you see it. And that's what's going to create it. And you're going to be there. And I see it as well.
Tank always tries to burst my little bubble. Then I inflate it back up. But I need him here sometimes.
What are you blaming me for?
You know what, Big Tank? You don't think you guys are going to make it? You don't think you guys are going to be big?
Oh, I've never said that. What I've always told Trebs is, after everything's said and done, we're only meant to be as far as we want to be. I'm not telling Trebs we're never going to make it or none of this. I'm just saying we'll get there. If we get there, we'll get there when we get there. But I'm in no rush. I have no rush.
Beautiful.
I'm more of an impatient guy.
That's wisdom.
That's exactly my point. He's impatient. He wants it now. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, if it happens, it happens.
How?
That makes you guys a good balance, because his energy and drive, and then your, balance, pull back, chill, have patience works perfectly. It centers but having him aggressive, if he was just on his own aggressive, he would burn himself out. So having you there as an anchor is the perfect partner. So I see nothing but a synergy.
I got two last things to tell you. You're leaving? All right, for sure. I got two last things to ask you.
Thanks. See you, Big Tank. Nice seeing you. Goodbye.
I think his baby walked into that room.
That's the gangster.
Yeah. I have two things right before we wrap this up, JB. There's movies for a lot of people. I'm fascinated with MK Ultra, and a lot of people don't understand what MK Ultra is. And when I try, this is one of the more old school ideas of conspiracy. This is like talking about chemtrails. It's a very old
it's like, do people really question
theory.
that now? Like, do they say
people
it didn't
question
exist?
it.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah. I always send them to this movie called American Ultra, where the dude gets activated through a sound, I believe, with his girl. His girl is his handler, and he becomes a kung fu killing machine with unlimited bullets. So he's like, the movie really depicts on what you mentioned about some people are assassins. Some people are meant to be psyops, right? Some people are meant to be shooters at a school, right? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm saying, there's a reason to everything. There's cause and effect.
They create the soldier or whatever it is, the assassin.
And then you mentioned also something when you're talking about these entities, higher beings, higher dimensional beings. I was imagining the movie Avengers, and I'm not trying to be, fictional, but there is a lot of things that they're telling you through entertainment, through colors, through childish play. They talk about there's a hierarchy of aliens that come down. They fight these superhuman people with superhuman abilities, and then once those superhumans fight these alien species, there's a different alien species that's higher, more powerful, more stronger that sent that alien species down. So basically, what you're telling me is there's a hierarchy up there, and we are fighting literally for our spiritual life.
Yes, it's a spiritual war. It's a hierarchy, and we have a galactic and angelic. There's galactics of higher councils, aliens, and then there's like angelic angels and archangels that never came into a physical body ever. They've always existed as these angels exist, like Archangel Michael, who's very active in this whole war. So very, very big leader in this war. So like that, we have all of that. They're all together working towards us. So we've got tremendous amount of light support that has been taking part in getting involved where they were, they used to not, because they had to respect this whole free will. But it's been rewritten that if you take over a species that's less advanced, that's much less advanced than you, and you manipulate them into accepting you, and you trick them into giving consent of their free will, doesn't count anymore. It used to count where they could get away with it because we gave up our free will, but now it's been rewritten that if you do that under false manipulation where they're not aware of it being done, that doesn't count as giving up their free will. It's you stole it and you took away their free will without their real true consent. So that means that they could get involved now in the universal laws. They could actually step in, get involved in things of that nature, so it doesn't drag out for freaking eons and eons because they're trying to do it the right way. So that's I might report that on the Galactic update on my 5-minute segment starting next month.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing new segments to the show. And on the 3rd of the month of every show, we're going to be bringing JB and the Fail Academy with the Galactic Republic Report. He's going to be bringing you a 5 to 10 minute segment talking about all the updates on his newest findings, on how the lab rat situation operation is going for you throughout the months, how you can use crystals. Also, we're going to be having Reiki, Kimberly Solis Reiki on our show, also giving us tips on how to tune in with your frequencies and with the purchases of minerals and stones. That's right. Every show.
It's going to be a bomb 5 minutes. Yeah, that's going to be a good 5-minute segment. Looking forward to that.
JB, you came, you conquered, you built it back up. Dude, thank you so much for being here. Let everybody know where they can find you, bro.
This feels good that I was able to actually talk about this and it's just like bounce it around from somebody. But yes, the Fail Academy has been like banned from so many social media. So I have go under other aliases. I am on Instagram as Renegade Family of Light on Instagram, and I am on Rogue Media now. I have a YouTube channel with Rogue Media. You could still find the Fail Academy on YouTube. So I'll post this on there as well. And that's about it. You can get me on Instagram, Facebook. You can get me on the Fail Academy. and then YouTube. And so like check it out on Instagram, Renegade Family of Light, and we'll chat it up.
We really hope to hear more from you soon. Jump on that mic and bring your knowledge to the people. We really hope that we could channel some listeners onto your stuff, the people that are really into it, because there's not a lot of people out there that are into it. There's a lot of people that are skeptics, but moving forward,
it's growing.
Yeah, it's growing. And you know what? That's what I thought about conspiracy theories too. And here we are. There's more conspiracy theorists and podcasts popping everywhere, taking our red pill every single fucking day.
And so, believe me, the truth, I mean, the cosmic and the 5D community is growing leaps and bounds. So yeah, that's a hot, area to be in. So we're in the right spot.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Guys. Pleasure to be here. I'm so glad we did this first video. I think it came out great. I think you guys look great. So I'm glad we did it.
Hell yeah.
Thanks,
guys, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you find Fel Academy and rogue1media.com, rogue1media.com, on paranoidradio.com, and hit us up on Instagram. You guys know where to find us.
Paranoid Radio.